The Srebrenica massacre was the slaying of more than 8,000 Bosnian Muslim boys and men. In addition to the killings, more than 20,000 civilians were expelled from the area, a process known as ethnic cleansing. The massacre was perpetrated by Bosnian Serb forces in Srebrenica, a town in eastern Bosnia and Herzegovina in July 1995. Let's look at some of the timeline of events as they unfolded. 5th July 1995. Shelling erupts in the southern part of Srebrenica. 8 July 1995, 7 am. Bosnian Serb soldiers take over the UN observation post Foxtrot. 3:15 pm. Retreating Dutch-backed troops are halted by Bosniaks who want the troops to stay in position to protect the enclave. 9th July 1995, 8 am. Constant shelling as refugees flee from Bosnian Serbs advancing in the south. 4 pm. The road to Srebrenica is now clear. 30 Dutch-backed soldiers are taken hostage by Bosnian Serbs. 10th July 1995, 8:55 am. Colonel Karaman files a request for air support, urging the selective bombing of Bosnian Serb tanks and artillery. 11 am. Bosnian Serbs shell Dutch positions. UN Commander General Bertrand Xavier rejects Colonel Karaman's request for air support. 6:30 pm. Bosnian Serb General Ratko Mladic arrives on the hillside above the Srebrenica town centre. 9:40 pm. General Xavier finally agrees on air support. Bosnian Serb attack ceases and General Xavier postpones air support until the morning. At midnight, Colonel Karaman tells town leaders that 50 NATO planes will bomb Bosnian Serb positions at 6 am.
Jula 1995. godine u srpskoj Srebrenici. Uoči još jednog velikog praznika srpskoga poklanjamo srpskom narodu ovaj grad i napokon došao je trenutak da se posle bune protiv Dahija Turcima osvetimo novom.
11th July 1995, 9 am. Colonel Karaman is told that his request for air support was submitted on the wrong form. He must resubmit on the correct form. Airborne since 6 am, NATO planes are now out of fuel and must return to their base in Italy. 10:30 am, Bosnian Serbs begin shelling once again. (11 am). More than 20,000 refugees, women, children, sick and elderly flee for the main Dutch base at Potokari 3 miles away. 12:05 pm. General Xavier authorises air support 3 hours after it was requested. 2:40 pm. Bosnian Serbs threaten to kill the Dutch hostages and shell refugees. Further airstrikes are abandoned. 4:15 pm. General Mladic enters Srebrenica to claim the town for the Bosnian Serbs. 4:30 pm. More than 20,000 people stuck outside the base seek refuge in nearby factories and fields. Only 5,000 are allowed to remain within the base. 8:30 pm. General Mladic summons Colonel Karaman to a meeting. 11:30 pm. Colonel Karaman meets General Mladic with local schoolteacher Nasib Manzik. At the meeting, General Mladic demands that all weapons be surrendered. He tells Nasib, "The future of your people is in your hands and not just this area." When Nasib responds that he's just a representative by accident and that he cannot be held responsible, General Mladic replies, "That's your problem. You must save your people from destruction."
Da sam slučajno ali ja ne odgovaram na problema, to je vaš problem. Zovete ljude koji mogu obezbediti predaj oružja i spasti vaš narod od uništenja.
At midnight, 15,000 men embark on a 63-mile journey to the nearest Muslim territory, Tuzla. 12 July 1995. Ibrahim Nahanovic is summoned to a meeting with General Mladic. Mladic tells Nahanovic, "Your people need not die, not your husbands or your brothers or your neighbours. Just decide what you want to do. As I said last night, you can survive or you can disappear." He repeats his demands. Finally, Mladic says, "Allah can't help you, but Mladic can." 11:30 am. Mladic walks through the enclave handing out treats and assurances to refugees. "No matter if you're old or young, you will get transport. Don't be afraid, women and children first." The Bosnian Serb army then begins separating all men aged 12 to 77. The men are escorted in a single file to a large house for questioning. A Dutch-backed soldier sees a civilian being taken to the back of the house, made to kneel against a wall and shot dead on the spot. 23,000 women and children are deported over the next 30 hours. The UN accepts the Bosnian Serb demand and pays for the fuel of all buses. 7:45 p.m, the men held in the house are driven away, all their possessions are burned. Bosnian Serbs begin shelling Muslims travelling through the mountains to Tuzla. Hundreds are killed while thousands wander the hills. 13th July 95, 10 a.m, 400 men are held in a warehouse, many are beaten to death. Using stolen UN equipment, Bosnian Serb soldiers pose as peacekeepers in an attempt to trick Muslim men in the mountains into surrendering. Hundreds of men are spotted gathered at a football field in Nova Kasaba by a Dutch-backed soldier. The men are seen sitting in lines on their knees with their hands behind their heads. 12 p.m, the Dutch begin carrying out Bosnian Serb demands to expel all 5,000 refugees from their base. 4 p.m, hundreds of exhausted men are caught attempting to flee through the mountains. Over the next 72 hours, a systematic massacre ensues. Bosnian Serb soldiers brutally slaughter over 8,000 men in Srebrenica alone.
Kroz opkoljeni, šta, gdje su puške?
Nisam ima puške, ja sam civil.
Civil. Dobro.
Nisam ni vojnik.
Ste mnogo uplašili?
Kako se neš uplašiti?
Ajde, bolo, ne boj, šta se bojiš?
Ajde, ajde. Ajde, slobodno.
16th July 95. After 5 days of fleeing through the mountains, the first survivors arrive in Muslim territory. Thousands have been killed during the journey. 21st July 95, 9 a.m. Following negotiations between the US and the Bosnian Serbs, the Dutch-backed troops begin to leave Srebrenica. General Mladic builds Colonel Karaman's farewell. He wishes him well and hands him a gift. Cars leave Srebrenica. Dutch-backed troops are seen celebrating in the streets, dancing and singing. Colonel Karaman referred to the attack on Srebrenica as being an excellently planned military operation. The first reports of this massacre begin to emerge. The UN civilian head of Bosnia, Yasushi Akashi, fails to report evidence of the atrocities. Over 8,000 Bosnian Muslims perished in 10 days of slaughter by Bosnian Serb forces. Their bodies were thrown in mass graves but later dug up with bulldozers and scattered amongst other burial sites to hide evidence of the crime. To this day, bodies of victims are still being uncovered. 520 victims were identified recently. They are not only found in grave sites but also in caves and rivers. For the families of the victims, justice is a distant hope. All they ask now is to be reunited with a single piece of their loved one so that they may finally have a grave at which to grieve.